but it has the character there that it needs to have, hopefully. You're going to get that, and I will show you 100 in a minute, and you will hear the difference. Okay, fingerings, and I have listed I have put just about everything in there. You've got your venting on your middle D. Oh, we were talking about breathing. Let me just tell you one time, every time this little passage happens, this 4-bar idea, don't breathe right there. You can breathe there when you're working on it at a slower speed, but when you get it up to speed, you don't have time. There are some other places that will get you through it, but that one you will wind up late if you take that breath. Okay, fingerings. Again, I've used the brackets, and I did not mark all of these, but do you notice in the second bar when you're going between D and C sharp, you can leave the right hand down. It happens all over the place in this music, and I only marked a couple of them. I marked one in the next measure. There's one on the next page. Let me see if I marked it. No, I didn't. It's right in there. Do you see all those D, C sharps in there? And you cannot play that unless you, you can play it slower, but you're going to want to mark that. Does everybody understand that? See, if I play D to C sharp, all I have to do is move my left hand. Anchor that right hand down and practice these, decide exactly where you're going to do it. The fingering that you're going to use the most in this piece is your thumb. In this case, it's not a B flat, it's a thumb A sharp, but it's the same idea. And I think I marked most of these in the piece. This one is, I've got that one marked for you. Notice we don't have any B naturals, and we don't have any high F sharps until right there, and I've got to get it off, or that F sharp isn't going to happen. And the C sharp is a beautiful place to take that off. So let me demonstrate that for you. I don't know if you can see this. I'll start with the first arpeggio. I still have it over on the thumb, A sharp. This time I'm going to go up to the high F sharp. The C sharp is where I've got it off. I don't use that thumb at all for the C sharp, so I just move it and have it ready for the high F sharp. All right, guys, there's no other way to play this. So please practice that. And some of you may say, hey, what she's talking about is really, really easy. I already got that down. But some of you are just learning how to use these little tricks. There are a few other ideas that I wrote down in the notes. Let me see. Let's go to the last line. There are a lot of trills in that. If you happen to have a C sharp trill on your flute, lucky you. I don't have one, but it's right in here where the lever key is. It'll be right there. Do any of you have a C sharp trill on your flute? You do? Okay, cool. You're the lucky one. If you don't have the C sharp trill key, these first, let's see, they're going to be regular fingerings. B to C sharp, D to E, F sharp, and then to B. Now, I do use my lever key on that lower trill A sharp, and I've got an X marked on that one. A lot of times we use the lever key with an X. I also like to circle the notes that I actually have that key depressed. That's another way I like to denote that. All right, now the middle octave B trill, you're going to use your first trill key. By the way, I see wrong finger assignment all the time. What keys are our fingers assigned to? Well, this is, the F key, the E key, the D key. But when I start using these trill keys, we shift to the left. So this is finger assignment. I use my pointer or right 1 on the lever key, right 2 or the middle finger on what we call the first trill. So I'm going to trill, that is the first trill key, and I'm going to use right 2. And then again I can use my lever key on the A sharp. And then the D is D to E. That's just, we call that the G key, or left 1, 2, 3. And then high F sharp is the thumb. With correct fingering, guys, this is tricky. How do we get from an F sharp to a high B? The only difference is the left hand stays the same. The only difference is this trill key. Well, I just told you to put that finger on the trill key, didn't I? Well, how do we use that finger for both? Well, in this case, we have to cheat. We use this for the F sharp and the middle finger on the trill key to get the high B out. You'll see that. That's what we do. And my students are practicing these fingerings all the time when they're doing their arpeggios and things. All right, what time do we have? 5 more minutes, and I told the next person I'm going to try to be wrapping up. Breathing we talked about. I think if you have questions, we can maybe answer them, a few more questions outside. I told you I'd play a little bit of this at 100. I will do just a little bit of it. This is 100. This is the second section. You hear how fast that gets. I mean, that's really kind of ridiculous. Okay. Keep it on the slower side and play it really well. All right? I'm not even sure y'all could hear that. All those notes. Could you hear all those notes?
Could you play it at the slower tempo real quick for us?